fresh after blowing Volcanica scalp to smithereens, Mark gets pulled up on by who else? Then his dad. Just like how a deadbeat pulls up to his son who just got drafted to the league. Buddy, I am not finna let you be my agent. Nope. But it's because the time for war is upon us. But first, Nolan drops the lore about Viltrum and then whips out that talk no jutsu, which of course is a success. But real quick, can we please get this John Cena built nigga some shoes? I'm tired of seeing this thug's toes every time he on screen. It really drains the aura, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all have never seen a man with his toesies out look tough. So whichever one of you freaky animators is doing this, I'ma need you to lock in. And I don't want to hear no excuses. But regardless, since he's here, Nolan can't help but want to talk to his fine shit. And I don't blame him in the slightest. Golly. And surprisingly, she lets the homicidal thug in her house. And since he's on a roll right now with the talk no jutsu, he whips it out again. But Debbie is not going for it. Got my girl in tears, she's so mad. So now I gotta step in because you've crossed the line now, pal. Anybody that makes Debbie cry is now an op to stay in talk. And I promise. But she cooks this freak for getting an aunt pregnant. And only 2 months after calling his fine ex a pet. Before she starts beating his chest in and cooking her own knuckles. But if I'm being honest, the main reason I'm even here right now is because of this. They had that lady in the booth sounding like Goku. I can't even do nothing but respect it. It's just something about a woman with so much passion. Yo, my bad y'all, interrupting the vid. That's on me. But I wanted to let y'all know I made a new channel and I'm gonna be yapping over there. So if you want to, you can check that out. If not, that's cool. Either way, that's all I got. I appreciate y'all for watching. Love y'all. But anyway, now we move to this science experiment built like Larry Wheels, plugging himself in the nipples with wires trying to turn into static shock. I couldn't be more confused right now. Until he starts getting blasted and we see Tech Jacket in the air weaving before pulling up and spraying in this freak's face. But god damn, he's chopped. Oh my lord. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He had no choice but to be a villain. There ain't no other career on the table for this. But nevertheless, he starts getting them guts tenderized before blowing out Zoe's back, then smacking her ass into the atmosphere. And then we get jump scared as he comes flying up and slicing that armor of hers. But luckily, Jarvis is locked in as it instantly starts the repairs, while Larry thunderclaps, sending this NPC into the She-Suite special before getting saved by Tech Jacket, who now face reveals and shows Dream how it's done. You should have kept that shit on before she gets pressed by this tank from Left 4 Dead's lightning until the suit is finally repaired and back to full power, meaning it's time to finish this. As she starts spamming bro with Key Blast before coming out of nowhere and rocking bro with an uppercut. Got that fat ass nigga his pushing to its limits. If he was a normal guy, he'd be headless just like you was last night. But then Zoe goes and yanks the wires out his back before deciding big freak boy ain't worth her time no more and utterly blasted him. But this kinky bastard in here saying more. I want more. And now I realize this nigga is just Ryback on crack. Why would you want more of this? But he gets his wish and gets downright fried beyond belief, leaving him standing here looking like a turkey on Thanksgiving before falling to the ground, cooked. But meanwhile, up in space, we see her dad. And who else than Alan, pulled up to work his taught no jutsu magic. And of course, it works. Welcome to the team. So now, back home at the Graysons, Oliver finds out about the war and Omni-Man pulling up while not even speaking to him. His own son. Bro is actually one of the few fictional fathers who is legitimately worse than Gene. But regardless, we all know Oliver, so naturally, he talks his way onto the team too, since Mark act like he can't stand on his nuts, getting bullied by like a 1-year-old. Now I know Debbie can't whoop him, but if I'm Mark, I promise you he not talking to me like this. Nope. Your dad might not be here to give you the treatment he gave me, but I promise I remember exactly how he did it. I'ma have Conquest looking like a saint. Alright, yeah, I'm lying. But this is nothing that a timeout can't take care of. That'll teach him. But anyway, per Debbie's request, they have possibly their last family meal together. And meanwhile, we see Nolan pull up on Art just so he can get the scoop on Debbie's new men. I know this method, buddy. You not fooling nobody. but being an intellectual, or also cooks bro for going around the universe with no damn shoes on his feet. The freak is wrong with bro? But Art also tells him that this thug will be getting no more suits from him because he dresses heroes, making Nolan fly away in embarrassment. I don't know where you going, bro. Ain't nobody call your name. But now we go to check on Mark and Eve, looking way too comfortable for my liking, as Eve still can't bring herself to tell Mark about the baby. Probably just looking out for him, because who knows how he'd react hearing about that before going off to war. But still, he tells her he is not gonna get murked. But judging by her look, she know his ass is lying. But the next day, they make it to the ship, where Nolan's pissed that Oliver's here. But Oliver say he not going home, and just look at Unk's face. He wanna recreate the Chicago incident so bad. But the victim himself like, nah, that shit not happening again. So Oliver storms off, Tech Jacket pulls up, and they head off to Telescria. But as we all know, things can never just go smoothly, because the ship starts tweaking as we find out one of the engines got cooked. So they got no choice but to separate from the ship as that shit gets boomed to smithereens. But Oliver and Nolan were back there. So now Mark starts looking for the leftovers of him in the debris before eventually finding a sleeping Oliver, who got that Itachi vision right now. And it's terrible timing too, because behind Mark spawns in two Viltrum, or what's another? Conquest. Back for his revenge, and this time Eve ain't here to save him. And also, that bum Lucan is here too, looking like Steve Harvey. I know Omni-Man want his get back, and shit, I'm not even mad. I don't even know the nigga, but I want my get back too. But it's gonna have to wait, because Oliver dumbass flies to Conquest.
I be popping bottles, sparkles and champagne.
While Lucan snatches Mark, so he not even able to help. But Oliver got more dog than me. I understand wanting to redeem yourself, but buddy, he was finna turn you into a jump rope. I promise. We'd understand if you flew the other way. But instead, we see Alan get rocked by Viltrumite Trevor from GTA before he gets blasted by Zoe. But it's all a distraction from us seeing Oliver get smacked by Conquest, who got the most sinister smile on his face. Once again, beating up on a literal baby. And bro ain't even have to move either. I can already tell how this finna go. But instead, Oliver gets two quick dodges in before rocking Unk's guts with a pristine kidney shot. That shit had more ripples than a bad BBL. And it don't stop there, because Oliver started tenderizing Unk before even smacking that spine. He must have thought this was a regular old nigga. This psycho do not got back pain. And so now Conquest grabs Oliver's cranium with both hands too, while Oliver just keeps throwing punches. But little man, it's over. You fought well. As the literal life starts getting squeezed out of him, and Conquest couldn't be happier to do it. The same man who was just bending over for this Thrag fella, all of a sudden wanna act like a demon again. Man, if you don't get the fuck. And luckily somebody's listening, because he then eats a punch from none other than Omni-Man, pulling up just in time to save his son. This redemption arc finna go crazy, as he now flies over for the 1v1. And we move to check on Mark, who's low-key bullying this fat bastard Lucan. So low-key, I'm sensing a bit of a pattern here. If these Viltrumites can't jump nor sneak you, they low-key kinda bun. I can't even imagine what a prep time merchant like Batman would do to these dudes. Oh my gosh. But now, Mark pulls up to check on Oliver, who says he's good. But look at him, his ass is not good. But either way, now naturally, Mark flies over to jump that lunatic Conquest. And all this is while Alan is once again getting his ass beat. And then saved by Tech Jacket, who starts blasting at bro, not landing a damn thing. So I'm starting to realize, these two niggas are not built for this. Where the hell is Battle Beast? But I might have spoken too soon, because now Alan gets a block, then rocks Trevor, setting up the lob for Zoe to start blasting. So maybe we don't need Battle Beast. I mean, honestly, he can't be that strong anyway. Right. But regardless, in the distance, we see Conquest and Nolan going back and forth before clashing and holding each other close. While I gotta hear Conquest for the entire convo sound like he either finna bust or his damn trachea hurt. Like, yo, get this shit out my ear. Before he just headbutts Nolan and goes to follow up with the backhand with the Thanos gauntlet too, ready to blow Unk to dust. Except he gets hit from behind by Mark, who can't believe this maniac is even still alive, saying he packed him up. But Conquest like, nah, it was really that fine ass girlfriend of yours. And speaking of, where she at? Cause I cannot wait to taste that again. And hold on right there. Now I know Mark's already pissed, but this would have been enough for me to pull a Megumi. No matter what, somebody going back to Satan today. And also, whenever I'm done, best believe you not safe, Cecil. You and that lumpy ass 5-head of yours will not be seeing the light of day ever again. You wanna act like you so smart and all high and mighty, but look who I'm fighting, Cecil. Look who you let escape, Cecil. All that you put me through, and this nigga still alive. And you think I'ma let it slide? I've already let you slide one too many times. Your life is done. Donald, enjoy the promotion. And so, of course, the rage bait works as Mark flies in, taking Conquest on a trip. But instead of sightseeing, Mark is pummeling this geezer. Finna have him talking like Rakai when he done with him. But then Mark slows up to charge, then comes in with a heavy elbow to the face, followed by 1, 2, 3 more of them. Then a double axe handle to the chest, sending them flying. Finna have Unc Pacemaker in there doing jumping jacks. He cannot handle all this. But neither can Oliver, who gets rocked by Bubblegut Lucan, who follows up again on Oliver, just using this chance to farm his stats and get some XP on a kid, since he know he can't beat nobody else. Super senior ass nigga, leave these damn freshmen alone. Except it's not just him, because we see Trevor just toying with Alan and Zoe too, sending her bouncing off some debris so hard that now her Jarvis ain't even working. So she's super cooked as Trevor slowly floats in behind. But luckily, the real nigga Alan knocks him out the way, saving her, while we oh so patiently wait for Tech Jacket's helmet to heal. Surely, this isn't an inconvenience in a fight whatsoever. But what's even more inconvenient is getting your ass beat, which is exactly what Oliver's doing, showing the same amount of resistance as Phantom at a buffet, before finally loading up and smacking Fat Steve Harvey with the kick, and following up too, as Lucan readies up that hand, ready to do the unthinkable. We all know what this means. This is the Ville Trigger's signature move, and Oliver set himself up for it perfectly. Except Nolan bout drop kicks that man, and again with butt naked feet too. I'd rather get shot, but now he checks on Oliver, who of course don't give a damn, going flying off, leaving poor innocent Omni-Man looking sad. What did he ever do to deserve this, man? But it's looking like the tide of battle is turning, because Alan beating ass, Tech Jacket hanging, and Oliver and Nolan jumping Black Mustache Men. And surely Mark can handle Conquest by now, because I mean, what's the worst that could happen? So it's looking like everything's just peachy right now. Before you remember, this is Invincible, and things can never just be positive, besides a pregnancy test. Because Alan gets blasted, and we see an army of wannabe stormtroopers all spawn in to even up the fight. And they start blasting at everybody too, ain't nobody safe. With Nolan even saying there's too many. So, we could just go ahead and wave the white flag. If he says it's over, then it's over. But this is while Oliver gets his guts rocked and then saved by Omni-Man once again, who asks him if he needs to breathe. And all that talking tough earlier, but now look at him. I bet his ass definitely wish he would have stayed home now. Bro could have just been chilling in the crib playing the game looking like this right now. But Nolan tells him to go to this conveniently placed planet and get some air. Sounds easy enough, as we go check on Mark and Conquest going blow for blow, before he notices Oliver go flying by, and seeing a kid with no parental supervision gets Conquest blood pumping in all the wrong places. So he shoulder checks Mark and goes launching himself towards the planet too, and right as Oliver gets a nice whiff of that sweet, sweet air. Ah, this is nice. So peaceful and tranquil too. Boy, I sure hope that this lasts. And Oliver has no idea either that this monster is right behind him with zero good intentions. And I know this is not the time to glaze, but god damn this frame took. The purely sinister and wicked smile on Conquest's face as this behemoth almost engulfs Oliver's body with that hand cocked back like he's standing behind Megan Thee Stallion, or either he finna spike some shit in volleyball. This demon is truly the amalgamation of nothing but pure evil, because keep in mind, Oliver has done nothing to him. This is all for the love of the game. But as he closes in, he gets speared out the air, and by who else than Mark Grayson, who got his hands gripped on this freak's throat. But the worst part is, He probably liked that shit. But Mark tells him he's never breathing again as he takes him up. But Conquest like, nah, you too little. Instead going flying down and just unloading on Mark's guts. I'm talking beating his shit in. Straight hooks too. Got Mark looking like a parentheses with every punch. This is why wingspan is important. And anybody smart would probably switch up the game plan. But nah, I guess he really is. So they just go booming through and smash it to the ground, where Mark continues to hold form. And Conquest realizes that this is a challenge. Going blasting off, tearing through the map and going back into the sky. So that means we should too, where we see shots still being fired and Nolan low-key just bullying Lukey before tossing him through a group of troopers. But since he's winning, we already know that means Alan is getting his ass beat, along with Zoe too. So of course, Nolan comes through clutch, sending that nigga about damn to Pluto. You know how hard it is to get knocked out of vision range while in space? This is what I would do to somebody who talked bad about Tsunade, so I need y'all to remember that. But now he asks, where is Mark and Conquest? And hears that they went after Oliver. So without even a pep talk, he like, alright, you trash ass niggas, go hide somewhere, because y'all are not finna win without me, as he takes off. But Alan and Zoe don't even argue with him. They know they ass. So they go flying around and ducking off in the ship, nowhere to be found. And back on the planet, we see Mark and Conquest go booming down as we go in and see Mark tweaking, trying to bury this man, still with his hands around his throat until Conquest has enough, going up then slamming Mark down so he can be the one on top. Ain't no submissive shit happening over here. But since Mark refuses to let go, Conquest just start beating his shit, terrorizing them guts, then smashing Mark in the face. And not just once, but 2, 3 more times. But through sheer dog, Mark still got that throat on lock with Conquest straining himself to breathe. Got about all his dentures finna pop out as Mark rises and they take off again. But they spin booming Mark back first, and now again he gets barraged with blows. Got him fighting for his fucking life. Until Conquest just starts dragging him, slamming him all across the map. Even doing some artwork with it too, done drew a whole star. Nigga gave the planet a tattoo just for funsies. Mark, I promise you can let go. Except he doesn't and continues to get punished with a huge blow to the gut. Got that shit poking out his back. There's no way this junk is worth it. And look how pissed Conquest is. Things are only finna get worse from here as they take off while Mark's face continues to get unloaded on. Meanwhile, Conquest's old ass looking like he's finna expire. So I guess maybe this is finna work. Especially when you consider Omni-Man should be here any second now, because he left like 2 minutes ago. So, whew, I'm glad we gonna make it out of this. As he now palms Mark's face and they go sliding on the ground. But now, Conquest is beyond pissed. Bro look like he on all kinds of drugs. He is not finna go out easy. But Demon Mark ain't either. Biting this geezer's thumb and then snatching that shit off. With Conquest not even able to scream in pain. He just gotta take that shit like a man. As now Mark starts getting up and finally off in the distance, we see Oliver flying around looking for him. As Nolan pulls up too. But don't even get me started on Oliver. Nigga say he couldn't keep up because they were moving too fast. Like I'm supposed to believe that shit. Brother, you had the most 4K seats of all time. And not just that, how many times have we heard them go booming to the ground and you just didn't hear it once? But now all of a sudden, since Omni-Man's here, the first boom that go off, you hear it immediately. And they go flying over like, nah, little nigga, I know what's going on. You ducking. Your brother been getting his ass beat for 5 minutes now because of you, by the way. And you got the audacity to be over here hiding and cowering? Nah, bro, Chacho. I'd like to officially welcome you to the staying anti-hate watch agenda. You will never know peace again. But now Conquest looks down at his 4 fingers and then at Mark, who's still gripping that neck. And while not having none of his teeth, usually it just be like 1 or a couple, but getting all your teeth knocked out is utter insanity. But the dog to still push through anyway? Mark Grayson, you have my respect. So when Eve leave your chopped ass, don't worry, because I will take care of her, out of respect. But now we see Conquest stumble back before standing his ground, loading that hand and blowing Mark shit smooth out. Got him beyond agony. These are pain levels you can't even describe. But still somehow, even with Conquest all up in his guts, Mark doesn't let go, and even with an oxygen level on life support, Conquest evil ass still manages to smile because he has evil, disgusting, downright twisted plans up his sleeve before Mark takes him down to the ground and Conquest starts to pull out. But not empty-handed, because he literally starts digging his guts out. Every organ you can think of comes flooding out from Mark's stomach, and yet it's not enough, as Conquest goes in for more, resulting in him getting squirted in the face with bodily fluid. Bro is leaking out from everywhere. Everything about this junk is sick, but it still ain't over, because this deranged psycho just continues digging ever so slowly. Got me questioning if this nigga Mark got infinite guts, but through the pain he holds form until Conquest's eyes start to get real heavy and roll to the back of his head, meaning now we can all breathe because it's over now, right? As Mark collapses and his dad and brother finally arrive to see a completely crippled Mark curled up like an insect next to a beyond cooked Conquest. And you know that shit is bad because look at how far away Nolan and Oliver are. Their literal son and brother is so close to being back in hell he can probably smell Satan. And these niggas over here social distancing. Like, bro, help him! Even though if we being honest, no way he recovers from this, man. I know they can heal and regenerate and all, but let's be serious now. Buddy just lost enough blood to fill a queso-sized pool. It's over. And then they go have the nerve to show me this old nigga Optimus declaring war, and then Alan and Zoe camped out in her suit having the time of their life. Man, don't nobody want to see this shit.